What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Post Credits Podcast, a show where we are lucky enough to talk about movies with you. This is episode 56, recorded on Sunday, November 16th, 2025, to get posted to podcast services on Tuesday, November 18th, 2025, to the usual spots: Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music, Podbean, and then to YouTube. As a note, if you're listening to us on an audio-only version, feel free to check us out on YouTube as well. Come on over to YouTube. Everything is time-coded out. You can like us. You can subscribe to us so you never miss an episode. It's that easy, folks. It really is. However you choose to enjoy our content, thank you very, very much. I am one of your hosts, Grayson Maxwell. Joining me as I do every week are my co-hosts, Roger Stillion and Chris Bond.
Yo.
Gentlemen, how are we today?
Good.
Today specifically, we're all right.
Well, the last 7 days-ish, you know.
Last 7 days, all right.
How are you right now at this exact moment?
You're talking to me?
All right.
Whoever's going to answer.
Yeah, I'm not great, but
Good.
as you know, as you do life, you kind of have to pick yourself up and go. So that's what I am doing. But first week of, I've read the script on the show. It's kind of I can
Why don't you read it word for word?
Yeah, right now.
I can
Right.
no
We'll just
I've
do a whole different show. This
I've
week.
read the
This
script.
just reads this unreleased.
I actually laughed several times during the script reading, so I'm really kind of looking
LOL'd?
forward. I did. I LOL'd in the office, but
Lol.
I enjoyed my unlimited access to craft service and coffee, and then lunch brought to my desk. I'm back, baby. Come on, bring it back to me.
We're so back.
Yeah, I know. So I've one full week of work successfully underway.
Nice.
Bit of personal turmoil though, but that's
It'll be all
that's for a different time. But gentlemen, how are you, Chris? How's things
Wait, are
with?
we actually going to discuss that on the show sometime down the road? The way you said that.
right. Yeah, we could.
I mean, like that's a
Let's talk about it
story
right now.
for another
Let's
time.
Let's dig into it right now.
I would rather not. Thank you.
All right, fair enough.
How are you? How's everything in the Bond household?
Bond household's good. So I'm gonna jump right into the what do we watch, because I'm so
Cool.
excited. I'm getting to watch My Hero Academia in its final season, and
you still
it
watching
has-
that with your kid?
Listen, yeah. Well, the whole family watches it.
Okay.
So it's like the first show that we watch as a family, really, and we've
Okay.
been invested since season 1. This is season 8, and holy crap, it's so good. My Hero Academia gets an odd rap. It had a really weird fandom thing for a little while there, which kind of hurt it. But like the way that they're wrapping this season up, man, I've never had so much fun watching a show with my family before, and like it's been awesome. So, or those people that are watching it and know, like it's been so great. And there's only like 4 episodes left. And if Game of Thrones could have ended on the speed and height of what they're achieving here, it'd have been the best thing on television in history. So, it's been really cool though.
Nice.
A lot of fun.
I have a similar thing that I watched this week. Well,
Yeah.
similar-ish is like during my downtime, I was a little bit intoxicated on Friday, and I was literally just zoned out on my phone watching Dragon Ball videos.
Oh, hell
like,
yeah.
Remixed to like
Uh-huh.
early 2000s Linkin Park, and buddy, we felt so good.
Yeah.
We were there, all there. And then for whatever reason, when you watch enough of those, the Pokemon clip where Ash wins the title comes up, and it's just the original song plays, and it's so fun.
Have you seen that episode yet?
Yes.
Okay, I was gonna say I
Yes.
had to push you guys to watch that, and I didn't know if you guys ever got around to it. It is so good.
I did. It's so good.
It's so good.
Perfection.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Perfection.
Have you ever watched Dragon Ball Abridged?
In pieces.
Okay, it's like 56 episodes. It's like 7 minutes an episode, dude. It's I've laughed so hard watching those every time I've rewatched them. They're worth every second of your time if you ever
I
feel like
was
going through them all in
I was
order.
all on board to watch it, but then the Dragon Ball guys were like, we're not big fans of that. Like,
Yeah.
I think they do good work,
But you know what?
Yeah, it's fine.
It's really funny, and it's for the
I
people.
believe it. Good.
Okay, good.
Grayson, what anime did you watch this week?
I did not watch an anime.
It should be Cyberpunk.
I mean, you watched Running Man, so you kind of watched an anime.
I mean,
That's
I
fine.
watched
It
the
is.
original Running Man, then I watched of course, the one for this week. I went down kind of a Bond loophole. I watched the No Time to Die, which is the last Craig one, and then I watched the first Pierce Brosnan one with Goldeneye, and
Yeah.
God, handsome devil that man.
That was his
just
first one?
I think
Goldeneye?
so.
So
I think that was the first one.
Did you guys? So I heard a story this past week. Actually, I forget what it was early in the week though. So the guys that are working on the next Bond project, like the execs
Mhm.
from MGM, Amazon, those
Yeah.
people, because they're the Bond people now. So like they're behind schedule of where they want it to be. Like they haven't picked a Bond. They don't have a workable story yet.
Jeez.
And well, it's okay,
Mhm.
you know, because we want them to do it right. You know, Bond's a big deal. I mean, some of the movies aren't very good, but like James Bond as a character and as a movie thing is a big deal for movies, right?
Yeah.
The reason they're so far behind is because the writing team was like, we don't know what to do now that James Bond is dead.
You start another one. Like they're isolated.
No, I understand this. This
That's
is
the
what they told the
stupidest-
studio.
Oh no.
Well, because they were making because there was a time when like the point was, and I actually talked to an Amazon exec about this. There was a time when like that was Lashana Lynch was supposed to be the next Bond, and like that's a known. You just can't. James Bond has to be a traditionally cast character.
I
Or
don't think you have to say that.
I mean,
well,
I th-
what it's
no, I
Because
agree
like,
with
look,
him.
here's the thing: they've talked about going that route a bunch of different times before.
sure they
changing
have,
it.
but I mean the fact that they didn't do it, I imagine that there's reasons why they didn't. But I imagine all the stuff they had was for that.
Hmm.
So now they're kind of
Well,
restarting, and I know
I
that
assume that they didn't do any work because it's like, hey, your paper's due. I need an extension. Why?
Because you killed him.
Because you killed him,
well, no,
buddy.
I don't.
Your whole job
Mm,
is to write a new Bond.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you don't have to use the old stuff. It's like we're
No.
not supposed to believe that Sean Connery's Bond is still kicking along in
No.
2026.
No, but that's but I would imagine that they. I mean, if there was if there the reason I'm writing it up because like I haven't watched that movie since it came out, and I just it's been a minute, so.
Sure.
I thought it'd be interesting is if you move on to the next, if they're like, okay, we're gonna do Bond, we're release one for the next, we're gonna release 5 of them 2 years apart. The next 10 years, we're gonna have a team fully focused on Bond, so everything looks and feels coherent. We're gonna roll right into movie after movie after movie. That's gonna be the next 10-year project for this team. I can dig that. However, I heard rumors that they were trying to work in the little girl, which doesn't make any sense because if you're doing another isolated story, that girl does not exist unless you
Sure.
want to do something weird and combine the universes, which I'm all
I mean-
for if it's tastefully done, but who knows?
Like,
Well,
why
I
give
don't know.
yourself extra work when you haven't even started the project?
Yeah. Well, like
I don't know.
the whole idea of it being an isolated project doesn't mean the girl can't exist. Like the way you're saying isolated, you're talking about like the whole universe is like this is like a new story, a new Bond, none of this other stuff ever happened, right? That's like the way you're thinking about it.
That's how has to go.
I mean, I don't think so. I mean,
Well, you can't then have James Bond as 007
Well,
because
you
he's
can.
dead.
Well, why not? James
Because
Bond's not
James
that
Bond.
is dead.
isn't
Well,
there,
sure, but that was his name. The designation is 007.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that was his name from birth before he came into the Secret Service was James Bond or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's at least that's how I took it. Maybe but
I'm not defending the studio or the writers or anything. Like I'm saying you could have the next story be isolated, but not in the way you're thinking, and just have someone be the next 007. They
Sure.
might not be named James Bond anymore. And like
Well-
that would be like their kind of like segue to make sure they can keep the name, keep the 007.
Sure,
thing,
and
but,
I
like,
and I understand
Well,
that. I understand.
it's easy to do
Yeah.
as well because, and I'm not trying to like tout Marvel here, like we reset Spider-Man 3 times.
Yeah.
The last time we reset Spider-Man, we did it the easiest way possible, right?
Mhm.
We didn't have to see Uncle Ben die.
Yeah.
He was just Spider-Man.
Yep.
Like we can't just pick up one day with this dude who's just James
Yeah,
Bond.
good. New story or whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, new dude, new team, new, whatever.
Well, I don't mind that. Like, I mean, I still need the M's and the Q's and the money
Sure.
pennies and like those people still exist.
Yeah,
I
but
just
we
it's
don't
like
have to
another.
see somebody become James Bond again.
Yeah.
Well, but we've already done this a number of times with the previous, all the Bonds up to a certain like they don't exist outside of those actors' universes. So I don't know. It can be done. It's just I thought it'd be weird if you introduced the girl back into the story into a new Bond story, but it's the
Yeah, what do
daughter
you
of
do that?
Bond. How do you do that?
I wonder what the actual lore of that is. Like, you have to talk to like some Bond aficionado to like really like get like that definitive answer of like, you know, if some of these characters have existed in the same like weird like half universes, or if each of these is literally every time there's a new actor, it's a brand new set like blank slate story world, and like nothing has ever happened with like a James Bond involved. I don't know. I think it'd
Well,
be neat to like
We should
get,
just resurrect Sean Connery.
okay. I
Have
mean,
him
AI is
cloned.
here, brother.
And no, just
He's the
clone him.
guy's guy.
Like let's get one step past AI.
I don't put it past him to bring like past Bonds back, like Pierce Brosnan back and Craig. Although Craig's dead, like I wouldn't put it past him to try to do something
Well, he's
weird.
not coming back. He
Well,
got hit by a missile.
I understand. I mean, I get that, but I think it'd be weird. I think it'd be. I think that's the reason why, because they were trying to figure out how to make like a multi-universe
Are you
possible
asking
Bond.
for the Bond multiverse? To
No.
have them stepping through.
No. I'm not. I'm just saying it would be cool if like Brosnan never died. Like there's a number of Bonds that are still alive that didn't die, but
All of them. I mean, that didn't physically die in real life.
Jesus.
I mean, yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. There's a number of them, but it'd be cool. But the Brosnan one does acknowledge that, you know, someone he acknowledges that 2 or 3 people look different now. Or, like they acknowledge that people have been in the positions before. Now other people, so like it's I don't know. It's this whole thing that I think is brilliant. At the
So
same
that was
time,
like
very
tongue
odd.
in cheek Hollywood era
Yeah,
was
yeah.
when Brosnan was Bond. So they were very much like kind of like wink nodding, that kind of
What
stuff.
a movie that is, Goldeneye though. God, that
Oh, yeah.
movie just moves
Yeah.
and moves and moves
It's a
and
good one.
moves and wow, what a movie! And then I watched and then I went further back and watched Thunderball, which I did not enjoy. But
Ouch.
well, I mean, it's just I don't think some of those movies adapt really well, like
You're
to
going back, you got to watch
2025. Yeah,
Moonraker. Like that's one of the ones that still hangs.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, give GoldenEye the credit. Can legitimately make the claim as one of the greatest video games of all time.
Oh God, 100%.
absolutely, absolutely
I
up
mean-
there in the pantheon.
That game and Pokemon Coliseum are the only reasons why Nintendo 64 even survived its run, or at least got started on its run. Honestly,
You're an F-Zero man.
Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, none of those.
I would say Mario
Smash
Kart
Brothers?
more than Mario.
Smash
64.
Bros. Did Diddy Kong Racing? There's a number of those games, but
Let's not bring things like Diddy Kong Racing. into a serious conversation.
all right, we
Let's
are
not do
moving.
that.
We are long in the tooth. I did something. I did. What did I?
Something.
I wanted to say that in my I think it's funny that in my showing of in the IMAX showing of Running Man, about halfway through when he's walking in the towel, and I was in a sold out Saturday IMAX crowd. Some guy was like, "Good Lord!" He said it really loud. Like, come on, man.
with his extra large butter
Yeah.
large popcorn. Yeah,
I
get
did
it.
think I did think that was really funny.
I mean, I made that comment before we started that Glenn's really let himself go.
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys, let's start a show though,
Looking
shall we?
jacked.
Look at him.
Absolutely
All right, let's
jacked.
talk about the box office.
Box office.
Have you guys seen the numbers?
Nope.
Don't
No.
don't look at them. You guys want to take a guess what took number 1?
I bet it's
Probably
close.
now you see me because you have that smug look in your eye.
Well,
I
no,
do, and it's not even
probably
it's
now
not
you
even
see me
close, right?
because Running Man's rated R.
That's fair.
However, okay, but when you see the
Hold on,
difference,
not even close. What's the number?
so worldwide's nowhere close.
Hold on, worldwide doesn't count in this number. You have
now
to
you
stop doing
now
that.
you see me, now you don't. 21.3
Okay.
for worldwide of 75.5. The Running Man number 2, 17 million,
Oh.
so a good 4.5 less, and 28 worldwide.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
That tracks.
you can't compare worldwide because you don't know where it came out.
Sure,
mean,
and I
yeah,
get that,
yeah, yeah.
but obviously there's more interest in Now You See Me than there was
Just
in
a
Running
little
Man.
bit in domestic, but at the same time, I mean, we've talked about it before. The rated R, like hard mode version of releasing your movie does exist.
Sure.
You know,
Number 3, Predator Badlands, 13 million for a worldwide of 136. It's making some money. But didn't we say that the budget was like just over 100 for that?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not a great number, but it's an okay number. Regretting You, 4 million, 82 million worldwide. Still making some good money. Black Phone 2, number 5, 2.7 million for a worldwide of 127. That's definitely way in the black.
Yeah, for them.
So
yeah.
good for them. 6 through 10, real quick. Nuremberg. I want to see where that's at. Nuremberg made 2.6 for a worldwide of 8.6. It's not doing as well as I'd hoped, but Keeper, number 7, number 8, Sarah's number 9, Chainsaw Man, the movie Resi Arc. Let's see what that is. That's it.
So
Chris, that's
200
at
million.
168, man.
Yep.
Yeah, but considering it cost them what to make like $5 million or something,
$5 million in a bag of wooden nickels. Yeah.
that's a hell of a return. Begonia is number 10, 30 million worldwide. I'm sorry, that was loud. That was a mean laugh. I'm sorry.
It's just one of those movies that doesn't got to make a ton of money. That they're,
Yeah.
I mean, they'd like it to make money, but
But it's gonna be nominated for every award on Under the Sun.
it will be.
I have a problem with that. But so that's your box office. Nothing crazy there. Wicked's comes out next week, so just be
everything else
prepared
doesn't
for
matter
a monster
anymore,
number. Yeah.
Would
Let's
we like to throw up numbers of what we think Wick is
Yeah.
going to do?
Yeah,
Let's
sure.
do that.
Domestic.
Domestic is the only thing that
I
matters.
know. Domestic numbers for that. I'm gonna go with 111 million.
Too low. Grayson,
You say that's too low?
135
Okay.
minimum.
All right.
I'll go 125, right between you guys. So
So
Okay.
111, 125, 135.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see how it goes.
135 minimum.
It's crazy.
I don't know, man. We will see. We will see. That's a lofty goal, but I do hope it hits it because Hollywood needs that win right now.
Just to remind the
let's-
listeners, I'm really good at this game.
Fair enough. Let's talk about a trailer.
Also,
We had some big. Well, I mean, by he's really good at this game, he means he reads stuff the week before and then formulates a number off what people on the internet.
yes,
said,
I do
so.
research.
Yeah.
Actually, research
Yeah.
things.
Oh, but when they said, it'll do more than 100 and less than 150, then Roger's like, 135.
No, that's why I got
So-
oddly specific and said 135 because when it
Fair.
comes in at 133.7, I'll be like, "What the fuck did I tell you?"
You two gonna
Well,
touch tips too?
Hold
Let's
on,
go.
are we doing the over like the Price is Right rules where you can't go a penny over?
Just close.
Just close
It's all
the
good.
dollar, man.
All right, fine. All right, let's talk about a trailer. There's a couple trailers came out recently. We will tackle them in the weeks to come. But there's a trailer that I want to talk about today. I've seen it a few times now. I have some thoughts. Let's talk about the trailer for Scream 7, which
Yeah.
Scram.
I'm excited because I think the Scream movies have now become an event that you almost have to see the opening weekend, or at least the opening week, before people really start talking about it. Because one of the things that I don't know if you guys remember this, but we talked about. I know you. Sorry. I know you did last summer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
The one-
whatever,
the one we worked
whatever
on.
the name was
Yeah,
called.
yeah, the movie I worked on and received paychecks for. It's that on
Your fault.
on Reddit, it was blasted who the killer was and why, and like on a big forum, and people were posting that. I think that's very stupid and distasteful for people to do, but it does happen, and it's impossible in this day and age. It's damn near impossible to avoid spoilers like that. So
One thing, and I don't want to derail your conversation, but if you go on Reddit and you end up on a thing that says, "Hey, do you want to know who the killer is?" and then you continue to click forward, you are going to get answers to questions you.
I don't think it was a click to find out. I think it was like in the title of the, so everyone saw it as they were scrolling on Reddit, and that was the problem. But neither here nor there. Teddy was an amazing character in that film. Lovable but stupid. We love Teddy. All right, Scream 7. Guys, I have to know your original thoughts. Mine are wild expectations. I'm very excited for this one. Although, how many times can we learn in 7 movies that it's always someone from Woodsboro who just now decides to resurface? And how does Sydney not carry a gun with her? How does this happen? Not a taser, nothing. She's defenseless every time this happens. I have to know the answers to those questions.
Well, she hasn't been defenseless since like after the original trilogy.
Sure, but she doesn't in the scenes in this one. She doesn't appear to have a weapon, and she's being attacked. So I'm
at one
assuming
point, she gives a
doesn't.
gun to somebody else, though.
Her
And
daughter, right?
she does have a baseball bat going into a panic room.
Fair.
Or a shovel? Is it a baseball bat?
I think it's a ball bat.
Okay, gotcha.
Let's talk about it.
I could be wrong.
Your initial thoughts, guys?
So my entire thing with Scream is, like the first couple of Scream movies are excellent, right? The first one's an icon. Second one's a good follow up. 3 things get a little bit weird, and then we go down this path, right? 4's weird. 5's okay. 6 is like, hey, we can still make a good Scream movie. And now we're back to 7. And like, I understand like it's a good property, but we don't need like what's the end game for Scream, right? Because we're running out of people that are still alive. We're down to 2.
Well, Sydney dying, I think, is going to be the end of Scream.
Because like in the last movie, we thought Gail might be dead. She's not.
Hmm.
Spoiler. I mean, she's in the trailer, so I guess it's not a spoiler.
Yeah,
but
can't be at this point.
I mean, it either ends with her dying or killing everybody from Woodsboro, North Carolina,
I mean,
which must have the highest murder capital rate in the history of mankind.
in the U.S. anyway. Sure. Yeah, I'm. Chris, what about you? Before I give some thoughts,
I have lawyer friends. Somebody look that up for me.
Live shout out to our lawyer friends.
My lawyer friends, not yours.
Okay, I mean, I thought we were in this project together, but all right.
No.
So Scream, I'll say the same thing I say about every Scream movie that has a trailer for it. I don't like this franchise, and I think this looks bad, but it's fine.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, if it's not your thing, it's not your thing.
Scream for a long time.
I don't like Scream. I never have. The first one, even I know the first one was good, but the first one was the only one that was like unique to me. And then like I felt justified when Scream got bad with 4 and 5, but I don't know. Just the last one wasn't the worst thing that we've seen. Like I know you guys enjoyed it, Grayson, you especially. It was fine, but like I don't know. I think the Scream franchise has overstayed its welcome. I think it overstayed its welcome on 4, but that's just a personal thing. So
Well, four is.
I can't wait for this to beat my expectations and we have a better time than I thought. That is my thing going.
Just want it to be good, man.
Yeah.
Well, I just want it to make sense because the reason I brought up the I know you did last summer is because the killer didn't even.
So
who was doing it didn't even make any sense. Like it just didn't.
You're
Hey, Ray
choosing
did it.
a slasher franchise on its 7th iteration, and you want it to make sense.
Well,
I
they
do want you to
kind of
bake in
they
that for a
well
second.
the first one, second one, third one, I would put those in the make sense category. The fourth one I don't even consider canon, and many people don't, and that's kind of the black sheep of the Scream franchise.
Yeah.
And I understand 5 and like I understand the killers and why they're at least I understand it. At least I think it kind of makes sense in the Scream universe. I don't even think what happened and who it was, and I know you did last summer the remake of this past year. I don't even think it makes any sense. I think it goes against everything that the first 2 movies did.
Yeah.
So
I mean, let me ask you a serious question.
Okay.
Like, without even knowing exactly which one these are, you tell me if this is probably a good movie or probably a shit movie. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Saw 7.
Shit.
Bad.
Leprechaun 7.
Bad.
Is there a Leprechaun?
There
7?
is.
Bad.
I know you're going with this, Chris.
Yeah,
I know
see,
you're
you see
going.
what I
Yeah,
mean?
of course.
So, like, we're at Scream 7. It's just these franchises, unless they do restarts, reboots, and all this kind of things, and someone comes in with a vision for it, like the chances of this being like having the best through lines and plots that make sense, this is not the path they're traveling down. They're traveling down the okay, what's the weird twist murder fest we can have this time, and then they jump in and like good on them and respect them for it because you got to hustle to make Scream 7. But it's I have no expectations. Besides, I hope this isn't. I know what you did last summer. You know what I mean? That's
there is only one franchise that I can think of in relative time that the 7th movie is something of revelation.
Land Before.
No.
Okay.
A different route.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, I haven't considered that.
I think
But
it's a good story, though.
that's fair.
Yeah.
But like
Star Wars.
I had to count. No. God, no. I had to count them out in my head.
Yeah.
But if my math is correct, the 7th Rocky film is Creed.
Well,
hold on. Wait, this goes along with what Chris said.
Yeah.
Different direction. Same character, character arc.
Same universe.
Same universe.
Yeah.
Now, like, look, do I expect Scream 7 to have some sort of magnificent restart like Creed? No.
Dude, listen,
no.
If they come that hard, I mean, all
right.
right.
Like, look, it can be done.
It can be.
I think 5. I think 5 was the Creed of the because it was starting something that it was starting like a new. This one that happens, and this one, then this one, based on the events before.
Yeah.
Like it makes So
what about you? Because you asked us the question, and this is kind of more your baby than ours.
I will never sacrifice the idea that the first Scream movie I think is absolutely one of the more brilliant slashers since I've been alive. I mean, it did so much, and then I think they've all been good except for 4. because I like Ghostface. I like that guy. What Randy something Randy Jackson maybe, I don't know, the guy who does the voice.
Freddie
Like,
Jackson.
what a career that guy has had. He's done all he is the screen voice, and he's a screenwriter, and he's more well known for the voice, but it's a great voice to have, and it's
Yeah.
it's iconic. And I mean, Ghostface is as iconic as
Oh, yeah.
Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees or any of them.
Agreed.
So I mean,
Well,
I'm
like,
excited to see how they implement, because I like the lineage of Scream, and that's just, Chris, you mentioned you don't. I like the lineage of Scream, and it's just, so I'm excited for it, I guess.
I'll give Scream this. The first Scream, there is no movie like the first Scream except for all the other Screams that came after
It's
it, right?
true. He
So,
did.
like the first one is really good and it's very unique, and it was the first one to kind of like do, I don't know, it felt like the most like real, like gritty realism version of a slasher movie. I watched the Ice Cream Man and Hatchet Man and all this weird shit growing up. This is really,
Jason and Freddy and that stuff too. Though.
yeah, but even then they have like this mystical element to them.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, so like Scream came out into this thing, and it did this thing where there's like a twist to it that was extremely believable
A
and
double
grounded.
twist.
Yeah, true, and it's like, so it did something that no other one did in space. But now we're on 7. It's kind of the way I feel about it.
And
I mean-
if we see in the trailer that the house burns down, so I think this kind of has to be the end
Well,
of Scream.
We see a house burnt down. Like,
Well, it
if
is.
you're
It's the Scream house. It is the Scream house.
Is it though,
It's
or is
definitely-
it Sydney's actual house that she
It's
lives
definitely
in
the
now?
Woodsboro.
Because
It's
you
definitely
wouldn't go
the Woodsboro
back and
house.
live in that house, would you?
Well, no.
I wouldn't.
I think it has to do with the opening, though, right? Like the opening's obviously the Scream house that's been turned into a resort. Because everything we saw in the trailer,
Airbnb or some shit, right?
yeah, right. And so, like,
Which is very on
Yeah,
point
I
for
mean,
2025.
yeah, before the first 10 minutes of this movie is over, it's gonna the whole opening's gonna end with the house being on fire and the screen goes to black. You know what I mean? And then like that'll be what gets the attention of everybody. And start the
Sure.
whole
I mean, it has to
domino
be
effect.
that, and it's got to
Yeah.
be. That's got where it has to be. It's where it makes the most sense.
Yeah.
But
I
I mean,
did-
yeah.
I deep down, like, I'm less excited about a 7th Scream movie than that I ever would have been about the second one or maybe the
Yeah.
third, obviously. But the last one's not bad.
Yeah, so they come off of
And-
6. It's
Yeah,
okay.
that's the thing, right? Like they are on a decent story streak here. I just don't know if Scream is super duper relevant now.
Mhm.
I mean, because like the original Scream came out in what, like 96, something like that.
96, 97, yeah.
Yeah,
pre-2000s.
like I was 14 or 15, so like we're pushing 30 years of Scream at this point, right? And like that's a good run, but how far do you run it? Like how long do you run this chain out, right?
Well, I think especially with Scream 6, but like, with to carry your Creed analogy forward, Scream 6 was probably the best one of 5 and 6. Being
Sure.
Creed 2, that kind of makes sense. Creed 3 wasn't as good as 2. So we'll see what they do with this, especially if they're going to put an end to the whole story that they have going too.
Maybe.
Doing a third movie with the same team, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of time. And I wouldn't doubt that whatever creative story that these guys had that wanted to put this together, this is kind of like where the conclusion goes to. It's more common that you think in 2s and 3s than anything beyond that.
And 7, 6, and 7.
Yeah. So like 5, 6, and 7 being this team's Scream run and it having like a conclusion to it. Yeah, they might.
That would be nice.
Yeah,
True.
they might do something really cool with it and bring it to a close.
I mean, I guess the real question I'll ask after the 7th Scream is like, when do we get the 4th Creed movie?
Yeah.
Like, let's get to that.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Sorry.
But it's nice to know you guys are at least somewhat excited for it. Or Roger is, Chris, I know you're not,
I'm
but
interested.
The
but
thing is,
okay,
we're gonna
fair.
have to watch it for the show, and I don't want it to be a waste of my time. Like if I go into this movie and it's worse than Scream 3 or 4,
Ooh,
like
be tough.
I mean that's a bad movie.
Yeah.
And I don't care if it makes a bunch of money and people are like, oh, it's so good. Generally, they're not.
honestly, if we're on Scream 7, I think people like Grayson, who are fans of the franchise as long as it's been around, I just hope that group of fandom really enjoys it. because
It's for you,
there's a good chance that this could be the last one you see. It's more probable that it is the last one versus there being an eighth. So like I hope the Scream fandom gets a cool ass movie for them to kind of go out on, if anything. So
I would agree with that. I would 100% agree with that.
cool.
Let's move on, though. Roger, I believe it is your week for movie recommendation.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay. So I chose the original Total Recall.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I don't remember the year for that one, but it's like
90.
it's 1990. Wow. This is like, to me, one of the quintessential Arnold Schwarzenegger films. I thought about taking the original Running Man, but I actually rewatched that not that long ago, and it's really not very good. Doesn't hold up well at all. But I like the story of Total Recall. The short version of it is a guy, just a regular dude who happens to also be huge and jacked and super muscular, doesn't really like his life, having a bad time, ends up going to in the future they have these things called recall, where you can go and have like these memories implanted in your brain, like you went on vacation for like 2 weeks and you just pay for it,
Mhm.
which sounds kind of good.
Yeah.
And he goes to do recall and things go completely sideways. Turns out, he was a secret agent, and this whole story unravels, and it ends up with him, getting oxygen on Mars. So, which you would think that there would be like a long period of time for that to happen. It's like a week.
That's the one where his eyeballs are popping out, right?
Yeah, that's what we all
When he's at
remember.
the end
Yeah.
screaming, he's like, ah.
It's the only thing I
That is
remember of
not
that
what I
movie.
remember from that movie. Thank you.
Really?
Well,
You
yeah,
don't remember that?
There's probably one more
There's
thing.
one more important thing that I remember in that movie.
Oh, the third nipple, right?
The third boobed alien.
There's
That's
one
right.
more thing
One more, far more
that
important
really
moment.
messed a lot of kids up in their adolescent years.
Really, really
Yeah, dude.
changed dynamics.
Yeah.
So,
That was that was, of course, made by Paul Verhoeven, who was big around that time. My personal favorite, he did RoboCop. My personal favorite,
Did
Starship
RoboCop.
Troopers.
Yeah.
Yeah, of
I mean,
course.
like, listen, that dude's to Sci-Fi. He has RoboCop and RoboCop 2. He didn't do 3, if I remember correctly.
Mhm.
He did Total Recall. He did Starship Troopers. He did some other franchise too. One other big thing, and it's like he directed all those movies, and it's like that was peak sci-fi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, that like era of sci-fi, yeah, because like I think you can point to specific things in like the 80s, 90s, 2000s that are all kind of like have like this pocket of like really good sci-fi that are very different from each other. So,
Sure.
but like that 90s era, that late 80s, early 90s, yeah,
He did Showgirls as well and Hollow Man. So yeah,
Hollow
Hollow
Man.
Man,
That's the other one with
that's the
was
one.
that Kevin Bacon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hollow
That
Man's good.
movie's weird as hell.
It is.
that's the
but
one.
It's all right.
Yeah, so that's of course Arnold. Arnold being Arnold is they try to portray him as an average dude, and Arnold's never an average dude.
Just some guy.
Yeah.
Sharon Stone, Ronnie Cox, Michael Ironside, just to name a
Ironside,
few.
yeah.
Yeah, Rosemary Dunsmore, just to name a few. It's a very memorable movie, and it's pretty quintessential if you're looking at like a rundown of I think sci-fi movies, especially in like that transition period from the 80s to 90s, which I would still consider 90 the 80s because it's made with very 80s mentality
Sure.
anyway. So
Well, and it's like at this point before like CGI was anything, so it's all practical effects
Mhm.
and all that stuff. So it's different. Like it's a totally different vibe. So.
Yeah.
Check it
I
out though.
agree.
I mean, it's a good watch. It's a longer movie
is
as
long,
well.
yeah.
It's a couple hours, which is not a typical thing for a rated R kind of movie in that time frame. So decent story though if you're into like not believing things while you should be believing things.
I have some comments that I'll wait for when we get into the a further discussion down the line of Running Man, like the futuristic setting, like the
Yeah.
80s future vision,
Yeah.
which I have such a massive problem with. But
Well, in Running Man, it's really different.
Yeah.
it is indeed. But so I mean, that's a good recommendation. If someone's not seen that, I think it's worth checking out. Did you guys like the Colin Farrell remake with
No.
Kate
No,
Beckinsale?
unfortunately, no.
Yeah, I didn't either. I also didn't like the
Colin
RoboCop
Farrell's
remake.
your boy too.
I like Colin Farrell.
I know you do.
I just thought that Total Recall movie came out of nowhere and no one cared about it to begin with, and
I think one of the problems with that too is they made it like PG-13 as well.
Yeah.
So like they tried to dumb a bunch of that stuff down, and like Total Recall. You know, listen, I'm not saying it has to be rated R, but like Total Recall is very rated R.
Yeah.
So it's not like one of the borderline things. I know we just watched Predator that's PG-13 and it kind of works. But it kind of works for different reasons.
Yeah.
Very different reasons, of course. Yes. Well, let's talk about, before we get into the show Running Man proper. I just kind of want to take a look at Running Man Then and Now and Total Recall, and I think there's something to be said for those 80s movies with the vision of like 2010 and how we were never anywhere close to it. Everything's gray and boxy, and for some reason it looks like you're on a different planet. And I think it's funny. Do you guys remember in elementary school, Roger, this may apply more to you than it does Chris, but do you remember like seeing those, like watching those videos of what the future is going to look like when you're like super young? And it was kind of Jetson-like. And now we're there, and it's never been anything other than what it's always been.
What the one date that I always thought was like super far off that we have long since screamed by. I don't know if I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this on this show, so I know you guys know it already though. Is from when I grew up, like I was a big Transformers fan, like the original cartoon, that sort of stuff, you know, toys and all that stuff. The date that the Transformers movie takes place is in 2005.
Yeah.
Okay. That was 20 years ago. 20 years ago. Yeah. Like I always thought like, oh, it says 2005. Like there's a transforming sitting on Earth and there's like robot moons and buddy, I have a TV on my cell phone. that's as far as close to any of that shit as we got.
Yeah.
Like our cars still run on like
cars
petrol.
that sort of drive itself.
No,
like if my car gets too close to the middle line, it shakes and pushes me back, and it pisses me off. Like that's the kind of technology that we got. Oh man, we don't even have the cool tech from like Star Trek, where like you can wave a wand over somebody and see what's actually wrong with them.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, for whatever reason, everything was so big and clunky for all the future things, and that's the one thing that did change is things got smaller.
Yeah.
Generally more streamlined, more efficient. So I guess that's a good thing, but I don't know.
I just never did like
not nearly as many light bulbs.
Like the He-Man movie is one of those movies to me. It's like it's just such an odd. How do you come up with some of that set design and how like who? I understand like you have to commit to a design early in development to like really nail that. But how do you arrive at that? Is my question. That's I don't know. But if you guys remember like the '80s cars, like they were all very big and bulky and. Like it was just like it was it all kind of goes together and like a vision for what it's going to look like in the future. But
RoboCop's version of future cars always made me laugh because it was like cars from that time frame that were just like they like made them look like triangles for whatever reason. So
we're long past the Terminator future too. Like we're long past that.
Are we?
Oh yeah, we're long past Judgment Day.
That was the one thing that kept happening in the Terminator movies, though, is every time they came back, Judgment Day got pushed farther out, though, right? Like wasn't that? Yeah,
but I think there was. I could be wrong.
That's the one thing we are getting closer to is our AI overlords.
Yeah, true.
I mean, even our random guest appearance by Jim sometimes.
True.
Gemini Jim shows up. He does a poor job picking movie bracket, by the way.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Until he doesn't, and then
until he just starts whipping our asses.
Yeah, he's learning every time.
It's true.
Every single time. All right, that's.
I don't know. There, I think about the most being like contrast. There's two of them. There's Escape from New York. That one is funny to think about, like what, like kind of like what the future was like set to look like and stuff versus where we actually are now at this point comparatively. But the Judge Dredd universe,
Judge Dredd,
it's like early 22nd century is what it's based in. So I know we're in the 21st, but like it's not really that far away. You think in 80, you think of the last 80 years.
75 years.
You know what I mean? Where we come from to now versus where the Judge Dredd universe is put at. There, like that's a huge leap.
Hey, like we went from invented flying to landing on the moon in less than 60 years.
Okay,
or 70 years, less than 70 years.
Yeah, but every jump
did
feels
we?
exponential.
Did we though, Roger? Did we?
Okay, even
This
if
isn't that
even if you want to
podcast. That
play
was
that card,
Begonia's
like, look,
episode.
we got to space.
Yeah.
Sure, and I understand that,
Yeah.
but
Listen,
well, that was the
wrong
tongue in
episode.
cheek.
That was Begonia. You should have brought that up. So
It's just I've always thought I always look forward to seeing a movie's depiction of the future and like just always being like, what? It's never going to be because I remember thinking like thinking about 1900 because we watched those documentaries in school for like World War One and like it didn't 1900 to 2000 really. I mean, outside of technology, there really wasn't
yeah.
a whole. You know what I mean? Like it
Well,
wasn't as massive a leap as the
yeah.
80s would have told you it was going to be.
These old movies from the 80s and 90s that told us what the 2000s were going to look like. It feels like the climate change like activism in a way because it was like I was told in 2000 that 2010 was going to be the end of the world. You know what I mean? And that's kind of
2012, actually. That was the.
yeah. See,
Actually, I watched that movie again this week. By the way,
it's not bad.
yeah, it's okay.
But like it's like that's what it feels like because like we get there and we're like, oh, everything's all right, and it's like, yeah, we'll wait till the next 10 years. It's kind of like how some of these movies feel.
The one thing that the one thing that nobody ever predicted that everything would become a cell phone.
Yeah,
You know, it's like
How could you not predict that though? How could you not? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because there are people that predicted Wi-Fi. I think there are people as early as like 62 predicting
Yeah.
Wi-Fi would be a thing. Like, not maybe not called Wi-Fi, but like devices linking up through a shared network.
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as computers started to be a thing, anyone could have seen that future. You know
well,
what
like
I mean?
internet Wi-Fi mimics everything else that's already occurs in nature. You know what I mean? Like the whole idea of everything connected to a central system is kind of how like the
talking
human
about
body
Ayla
works
from
and stuff.
Avatar?
Isn't
Yeah,
that just kind of a like going off of like walkie-talkie like you know what I mean, like in
Yeah,
war
radio.
using radio lines,
Yeah.
sorry,
Radio.
walkie-talkie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Fancy
so
new invention, radio.
so you guys, I've recently watched The Running Man, and I told you
Mhm.
guys before we started recording,
I wasn't Grayson.
I was pretty disappointed. I haven't seen the original Running Man. It's been some time, granted, but I was pretty disappointed in my viewing to the point where, like, I was just like, I've like my chair, and I just kept going further and further back, like thinking, just please end this. Can we please just end this movie? God, just please end it. It's very rare I watch a movie I'm uninterested to see the ending of, even if I've seen it more than once. And sorry, the original Running Man is just one of those movies that never once caught my interest going in. Like the premise, I do enjoy. I do enjoy the Arnold because there's that. I love how he refuses to kill the innocent crowd. So those
Yeah.
guys on the chopper like subdue him. But then the next shot, he's walking through a construction zone. He's been now forced into labor, and he's just carrying this steel girder that like 17 men couldn't carry, but Arnold
Yeah.
can carry it. And it's just to me, it's like one of those. Okay, that's that movie magic kind of stuff, but it's also like the movie stars more than the movie at the time,
Isn't that
which I think
sorry?
I think that Handsome Glenn is kind of on the same wavelength as far as maybe being a star bigger than the movie than Arnold was. And like, I think he's kind of flirting with that line right now. And that's kind of
Yeah,
one of my
So,
talking
but
points.
Glenn isn't coming from anything outside of like Hollywood in that sphere, though. Where it's and
Sure.
Arnold definitely
Arnold was
has
an icon,
yeah, like he's always been big, like bigger than life,
larger than
itself and
life. Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, so it's like it's kind of a different thing. I know what you're saying though. The thing about like the original Running Man is it had this I don't know. This thing that the '90s action movies could only pull off when they just had like a star in the role. It didn't matter what the movie like did really, right? Because it's got Arnold there. Only Arnold could say the line about like the one dude in that movie. I think I'm thinking the right movie where there's like the weird guy. He's like now he's just zero or something stupid. Like it's like such a bad joke and such a bad line, but Arnold said it, so it's hilarious.
Well, right when I was going, so right in the prison or whatever, the riot, he lifts him. He's like, need a lift, and he lifts him up and throws him. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, like it's something about that era of action movie that had the action movie star
And
that can
corny
pull,
ass writing. Too.
yeah, that
It's
is it is pulled off differently back then than it is now. And like, can you imagine Glenn Powell saying any of that corny ass shit? It just doesn't work the same way. So it's just a different era of movie and
it is.
action.
well,
Definitely
let me
is.
let me compare some of the old like action movies to some of the action movies we're more familiar with then,
Yeah.
right? Because if you think about it, there's a lot of correlations. And if you think with like the cheesy writing and stuff and the
Yeah.
weird dumb shit that they say, think about the original Fast and Furious movie.
Mhm.
Like there are so many stupid lines in that movie,
Yeah.
and it's just like, well, yeah, he did that for me. You know, it's just like those little one-offs that shouldn't be funny, but they are, but like they're not. It's just the way that they're executed. I don't know. There are just so many things
Okay.
where you don't
Fast and
know.
Furious was 2001 though. I just looked. I just had to look
Yeah,
it
no,
up to make sure. It's like right at that '90s cusp still. You know.
it's only 11 years difference between the Running Man and Fast and Furious.
That's crazy.
That's wild. That's wild.
Like talking about like the corny writing and it working. Another Arnold example is in Predator movie we just talked about, where he like stabs the guy into the tree and says, "Stick around." Like
It's true. Forgot about that.
you know, it just works for those, and you're never like eye roll. It's like hell yeah, brother. Like I don't know,
Yeah, brother.
you know. And the Running Man has like those like the hunters or whatever in it. I can't remember what they were called. The same thing.
The Hunters. Yeah.
Don't they? Aren't they like Mortal Kombat characters or like wrestling personas? In a
They're
way?
like WWE wrestlers.
Yeah,
at this
it's
point.
like
Well, like the one guy's got like Christmas lights on his shirt. Like it's just
what is
He
this?
just like
blink,
zapping
whoa.
lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but his
get the fuck
as
outta
soon as you
here.
as soon as you get up to him, you destroy him. Like there's no
Yeah.
real power. It's just
They're like
odd.
bad Super Nintendo Mega Man bosses.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
one guy,
like, it works.
chainsaw has a chainsaw on his belt. He's got two more chainsaws.
So imaginative.
All right,
Which-
top man, get the fuck out of here.
Which, by the way, I wanted to make a note of because I just watched the second Texas Chainsaw Massacre not too long ago, and Dennis Hopper, who's the cop, is going after the family, the Hewitt family. In the 2nd one, he's going through a mine, and instead of shooting him with his gun, he's got just chainsaws hanging off of his gun belt, like he's gonna. Again, it's like it's one of those weird things. Like you
Are
have
they
to
small
you lean into it.
chainsaws?
No, they were
Like
all
full
massive.
size?
Yeah, and
Chainsaws
so
are heavy.
They are.
that came to like
That's
that's
a hell of a belt.
that's part of that design. Like you really have to commit to the bit, I think.
Yeah,
to-
right. Yeah.
the same with those villains or the hunters in the original Running Man. Like it's a joke. Like what I think what they were was American Gladiators. Rewatching it, that's kind of
Sure.
the vibe I got. Was the
Yeah.
whole thing was how do we make American Gladiator into a movie? Oh, let's do the Running Man
You guys ever watch those documentaries?
Oh yeah. Oh,
Buddy.
about American Gladiator.
yeah.
Have you never seen
No,
those?
I have
There's
to
two
check
of
those
them.
out.
One of them's on Netflix and one of them's on something else. And
Worth your time for sure.
yeah,
I'll check
seriously
those out. Those are-
messed up.
I love.
I mean, like
those
excellent,
shows.
very well made, excellent documentaries. That shit is dark.
Yeah.
Dark.
Yep.
But yeah, the whole there is Running Man and stuff, and I don't know, like the movie itself compared to like like talking about like Running Man then and now, having just watched the new one, I like what they did in the '90s with that was their version of probably we have this guy that we can play in this movie, let's crack this thing out versus what we got with this 2025 Running Man. They're very different mindsets, I think, in the whole idea of what like putting the movie together looks like and what the purpose was.
Uh-huh.
Like I don't know if they approached Glenn Powell about this part or if they had him for a contract for one or whatever happened to make all this come together. But I can very much see someone, having Arnold already lined up and they have we have this property he'd be perfect for because he was perfect for everything back then.
Yeah, because
You
if
know.
you had an action movie, he would
Yeah.
probably do it.
Yeah, exactly. You toss a script at Stallone, Arnold or any of those guys, they're like, yeah. And they just go out there and they make a pretty okay movie. You know what I mean? And
What's
that
the
every
movie
guy's
where
gonna watch.
What's the movie where he's just like chill out? Is that the Batman movie where
That's
he's just
Batman.
Batman
When he's Mr.
Forever or
Freeze.
whatever,
just
right? Yeah.
chill out?
Chill
like
out.
those wonderful. Which also led me to I wanted to make a note of this Jingle All the Way.
Oh, Jingle All the Way is
With
better
Turbo
than you
Man?
think. Yeah, Turbo Man.
No, not. You say it correctly, but Arnold Turbo Man, Turbo. He has like a
Turbo.
weird.
I'm
he has a
Turbo
weird
Man.
Turbo Man.
Don't. Then when he's talking to Ted about. Ted's like, oh, these cookies are so good, and he's like, stop eating my wife's cookies. Those are my cookies.
Doesn't that got Sinbad in it?
Who?
too?
Yes,
He's the mailman.
Yeah.
How does that get written though? How does a movie like that exist? That's what I don't understand. Is how does and then he goes in the warehouse and fights all the Santas, and how does that movie exist? is what I want to know. But like, does a movie like that exist without Arnold? Which does Total Recall exist without Arnold? Does The Running Man exist without Arnold? I mean, could Stallone have done that? Could Van Damme have done that? Would they have done it? I like to think.
Van
I don't
Damme
know.
could have done Running Man back then. There wouldn't have been quite the same one-liners because they're not delivered the same way.
Well, yeah, the one thing, right, is when it came to like having some comedic timing, Arnold was way better at that stuff than Stallone or Van Damme or
because he
Christ, Steven
believed
Seagal.
in in like his delivery,
Yeah.
and not that he took himself too seriously, but like he knew that it was both charming and funny when he said that shit. You know what I mean? He knew that.
He knew he was funny, so he could
Yeah.
do it. Yeah.
It all works out in that way for him. So,
But even like the True Lies or the big
I love
movies.
True Lies, by the way. I think that's a great movie.
It is. I think it's very. But even those, a lot of those, there are still some one-liners in there that you're like, James can't. Why did you keep that in there? But
I think True Lies is a little bit of an overhyped movie in today's day and age. But back then, that movie was really good.
Well,
are we gonna die? Yes.
It's I don't know. It's the whole Arnold mystique is just we could do a whole episode really kind of diving into Arnold's how like his persona on screen and how it led to all these, and that's something we may do. But I think it's an interesting comparison because I think Glenn Powell does fall into that category.
So Glenn Powell, Glenn Powell is absolutely someone who's on the rise, who is seen as, a movie star at this point, and it's been a very short run for him so far. And he's a guy who started within the Hollywood space anyway, as like a writer or something. So it's like he's kind of like, or not a writer, but like a screen reader or something. But like he started within it in the machine, so he understands it, and he's coming up and knows how to, he's seen a lot of bad stuff, so he understands what kind of like makes it better. So he does a good job of self-marketing, selling himself, and being personable. He's good on screen. He's magnetic. This is absolutely a path that he can go down, and he could be like the bleeding man star currently in the next for the next 5-7 years or whatever.
Well, and you said something when we were doing pre-show that I hadn't heard. I didn't know that he had done most of his own stunts for this film as well.
He fought to do as many stunts as possible, and for it to be, obvious that he was doing his stunts and stuff too. Like he was very passionate about that, and that's something that certain actors get recognized for. And while it doesn't like get you movie roles, but it's one of those things where like people who appreciate movie making,
they respect it.
Yeah, they know that stuff. They understand it. They respect it. Tom Cruise has talked about it as a positive light because he wants to do his stunts as well, and it's something that is well known at this point. So that's cool.
I agree. That makes sense though. Given Glenn Powell's a guy that when you look at him, he's one of the few movie stars today that kind of oozes what they had in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. Like he's the
charismatic
timing.
as hell, dude.
Like he's almost. I don't want to say he's a triple threat because I've never heard him like. But you understand when I'm saying triple threat. You understand what I mean.
Could actually sing too.
He's the guy that. But he's the guy that has the kind of the old movie star swagger, and a lot. That's what Netflix doesn't ever have.
So Grayson, I think something that I agree with you on here is that he's unapologetically charismatic. And I think
that's who he is. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think that a lot of, like newer stars coming up, like male lead roles, it's almost like they're timid about the fact that they're charismatic, whereas he is not. He just, he knows it, he's honed it, and he's riding it forward, and it's not a bad thing. And he sees it as a huge key strength instead of something to kind of like hamper down and not take full advantage of.
It's like in the one thing where like he's a dude's dude, in the most positive way.
Yeah.
Well, also, he also has the moniker "Handsome Glenn." That
that's not really a moniker. That's what I started calling him, and that's what you guys started calling him. So when I've seen that becomes the thing, I started that.
I've seen that out there before.
I have that on record from like 400 episodes ago on something else that I started this.
Fine,
I will die on that hill.
I've seen that everywhere. That after some time during and after Top Gun, he became Handsome Glenn. But he kind of leans into that moniker though. He has that look.
He is handsome.
He has that look of the old Hollywood star with you just don't anymore. Whoever that guy is on I can't remember his name. Who's the guy that on the Dungeons and Dragons movie that he kind of doing his own thing and he kind of walks in the light all the time? Who is that guy? not any of the main cast, but he's off doing his own thing.
The Paladin, the guy who's playing the Paladin. or
Maybe
whatever?
he's also like the guy that he's just got the look, man. He's
Yeah.
just. I mean, Arnold had the look. Stallone had the look. Like going back to the like the days of like Casablanca, and that just you don't
The way
have it anymore.
Glenn Powell carries himself with more physicality, because he's definitely more of an action star
He's
than this guy,
big.
is
He's
George
big.
Clooney. He reminds me of George Clooney in the way that he's charming.
Something
Where, like,
George Clooney with an early Michael Caine. Absolutely, yeah, 100%. Two like Hollywood strongmen that know how to push forward that persona of not only am I handsome, not only am I charming, not only will every woman want to sleep with me, like they're James Bond without being James Bond is what.
Not only do I have all 11 of my abs showing,
But let's jump into we've been talking long in the tooth here.
Sure.
Let's jump into
Let's do it.
the Running Man, the remake, 2025, and I have some interesting theories I want to float your guys' way. But
Okay.
before that, of course, Glenn Powell, handsome Glenn, is the headliner here. Josh Brolin, Michael Cera, Coleman Domingo. I'm happy to see him. I always like seeing Coleman Domingo. I think
Coleman
he's
Domingo's
yeah.
hilarious.
Lee Pace, which it took me a minute to realize. Do you guys know where he's from? The lead hunter. It took me a minute, but he's the elf king on the elf king on the Hobbit films. Yeah, he has that very specific way of talking. You know what I'm talking about?
Interesting.
Yeah, and Jamie Lawson, of course, written and directed by Edgar Wright, and that's the big one. And Michael Bacall, who had a lot of those, who's done a lot of the stuff in the past. But I think Edgar Wright here is. I don't think this movie exists without Edgar Wright. I don't think Glenn Powell is. I think earlier, Chris, when one of you mentioned how did he get involved with this, I imagine Edgar Wright, like as soon as his script got lit, he beelined right to Glenn Powell and like, I need you for this role.
Sure.
If I had to guess, I don't think Glenn Powell had to beat out anyone to get it. I think it was offered to him.
Gotcha.
That's just my thing.
I mean, Edgar Wright's got a hell of a filmography as well.
Yeah, but I don't. This one, I don't.
Well,
think
this
the
is
same.
probably not going to be a shining star on that list.
All right. So do you guys know what the numbers are?
No, I have no idea.
No, I've definitely looked at all.
Would you believe me?
I bet people like it though.
Would you believe me if I told you it was the tomato meter was 50 and the popcorn meter was 59? Would you believe me?
I mean, unless you're actually lying, sure.
I am lying. It's 64 and 79, but
okay.
And the Metacritic is sitting at a 56. So, and just for reference, the original Running Man from 87 is 59 and 61, so considerably lower Rotten Tomatoes, both of them. And the Metacritic is a 45, so a considerably lower Metacritic as well. But I think I don't think anyone's going to argue that the original Running Man is a lesser product than this one.
Sure.
Correct. But I think those numbers are a bit high for the tomato meter and the popcorn meter. And you got to wonder if some of those. You got to wonder if I saw a video on YouTube about a guy who's going down a rabbit hole. All the Glenn Powell movies, all the popcorn meters are super high on them, and he's like, I wonder if it's because he's so handsome. So I don't know. Weird. I just maybe, but interesting to me. What do you guys think about those numbers?
Well,
fine, sure.
Yeah, the numbers make sense to me. I actually think the first ones you read out, I kind of resonate a little bit more with on this one. So let's find out how you guys feel. We'll do the thumbs up, thumbs down thing. So I'll count us in. So this is Running Man 2025. If we give it a thumbs up or thumbs down in 3, 2, 1, what we got?
I'm thumbs up with it. I'm thumbs
down.
Up.
Well,
I thought it was interesting enough.
Uh-huh.
I thought it built up. So I've never read the original book. That's one thing I have no contact with is the Stephen King novel. But I think it improved upon the original Running Man, and it gave me a better look at the world that I think that the filmmakers wanted to depict. Even in the 80s, I think we got a much better visual representation, and the character to me makes sense enough that I dug the movie at least at a 51%. So to me, that's got to be a thumbs up.
Okay, I got you.
That's fair. Can I?
Yeah.
So I gave it a thumbs down, and it's not because I don't think. Here's the thing: I think this movie's okay.
Okay.
It doesn't do anything overwhelmingly good or bad to me. If I could have gave it a sideways thumb, I probably would
Yeah.
have. Um, it's he's fine. The movie's only ever okay though. I think that's the issue that I run into. Um, it's just it's kind of corny.
Mm.
For good, for better, or for worse.
Yeah.
And it wants to be an action movie. It wants to kind of be a comedy movie, and it doesn't really do a good job of really being either one.
Yeah.
But it's not terrible. Like we have, we especially here have seen far worse movies recently than this. Um, so the thing is this is something I don't know if I ever watch Running Man again.
Hmm.
I feel like my dad would love this movie
Maybe.
for all the reasons where I'm like, I think it's corny,
Hmm.
you know, because it definitely does feel like 80s action for better or for worse, for all the good stuff that brings and all the bad stuff that brings.
Okay, I hear you there. I mean, I'm I'm thumbs down on this, and I'm not a sideways thumb. If I had the option, this thing is to me. I don't like this movie. I think this movie does a lot. It does everything wrong with the space that it has, the time that it has, and it has a lot of time.
It's like
For
215.
Yeah, it's
210.
long. It feels long, and where this movie to me goes wrong is every time it slows down its action. This movie's called Running Man,
Yeah, I
right?
get your
Like
I get your
It's-
point. I get your point.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it is.
it's more like Sleeps in Hotel Man. It's more like Talks
nice
at the Dinner
hotel.
Table Man. It was a nice hotel. It's more like Escapes to a Cabin in the Woods Man. And then there's just so much plot convenience in this movie that it's actually painful.
But see, that's to me why it's like peak 80s though, because it has to be that way.
Even considering like that, it happens too many times when like there's plot convenience that happens in good film, right? Like we get
Sure.
that, but like it's usually like something that like you can tell they couldn't figure out how to get something to go or something to start or someone to show up without doing this thing. This movie it uses the plot convenience as constant bailouts. It feels like is the way like I would think, and
Okay.
then it does these weird things. Anyway, that's for more deeper in. But like this movie, just it's littered with bad movie making all over it, and I don't understand like where we thought like this was the better version, or if this is just a good version. I guess like even not comparing it to the old Running Man, right? Like staying away from it. Even if this was just generic action movie A, it's got so much things going wrong with it, in my opinion, that it doesn't line up for
Well,
what I'm looking for out of a movie.
I like
Okay.
everything you just said. I want to expand on some of it if I can.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Plot, 100%. He doesn't get through this unless the plot allows him to get through it.
Yeah.
Because he just
Well,
doesn't.
not with the decisions that he makes.
Well, of course, and they're awful. But that's the thing is, when I saw the trailer for this movie, one of the reasons I was super excited. Well, Edgar Wright to me has never done anything. He's never had a miss. This is his first miss, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Only because his other filmography is so good. But also, I literally expected this movie to be. I didn't expect it to be as long as it is, but I expected Glenn Powell's character to always be on the move, and like I'm talking like we never don't see him running. I thought seriously that's what it was going to be. And we didn't get that. And Chris, you're right. The movie does get hampered time and time again by plot convenience A, plot convenience B, and then Michael Cera. What? Why is his character in this movie?
Because Michael Cera
Plus, he's
and
got a
Edgar Wright are
terrible
boys.
mustache.
That too.
Awful, awful, awful.
Are they
But it-
boys?
But
Probably.
why
He's
do
in it,
if
these
you
movies now, at least.
if you cut that entire sequence out, you don't lose anything except like
but then we
they-
don't get super soaker violence, and at least
or
that I
like the-
appreciate.
yeah, you don't get sure. I mean that's part of the trailer, but I mean
Yeah,
it's,
so we talk about you mentioned Edgar Wright and stuff. I think Edgar Wright has had some stinkers as
Okay.
of late.
what
but,
are
like,
they?
Well, so I mean, okay, maybe not stinkers, but like they're not like these great things. Like Soho and a couple other ones, like they weren't fantastic films. Hot Fuzz, absolutely is one of the best comedies ever
Banger.
made. But like
Banger.
what felt like Edgar Wright moments was the only thing that felt like very like snappy and witty comedy, because that's what he's really good at, I think.
Yep.
Is when he first shows up with Michael Cera, and Michael Cera's like going through each room and like giving that fast dialogue of like, don't look at this, okay, look at this, and then like goes to the next thing and shows him this stuff, and it's funny, and and then we stop and we talk about a hot dog stand, and like that felt very much in his element. But I think outside of that, I don't know how this feels like one of his films. I don't know. This movie is confusing to me when I'm thinking about it through like the movie making lens. If you just turn it all off and watch this thing, I'm sure, like, yeah, it's probably a great time. But it's got so many things that I'm thinking about as I'm watching it. We're like, oh, okay, this doesn't make sense, or okay, how did this happen? And like, you know, I don't want to keep on diving right into like bad stuff, but like I can't think about other stuff in this movie because of what is confusing me. The whole thing where he walks in with Michael Cera and his mom's screaming at the TV, and she's like, I want him dead." And he's like, "Is this gonna be a problem?" And he's like, "Don't worry about it. She can't hear you. She's blind and deaf. She's dumb. It'll be fine." And then like 3 minutes later, it's not fine. It's literally the thing that starts this whole thing going
It's
on.
you.
It's like, okay, well, obviously there's a problem. Why did the movie tell me it wasn't? And then the whole thing where like they avert the crisis, and then Michael Cera's character hits the alarm anyway. It's like, what are we doing? And it's like they'll be in 4.5 minutes. He's in a cabin in the fucking woods, and SWAT's there in 14 seconds.
Yep. They are there really quickly.
What's happening?
Well, I mean, you'd almost think they have like zones that they put their people just in case someone hits the
He's got a
alarm.
big old thing on his arm.
You're right. You're right about that. I mean, I understand what you're talking about, and it's very easy to. I mean, it's very easy to kind of get lost on that negativity.
Well,
I think that though the action kind of makes up for it in a
What
weird.
Well, hold on. I want to say one thing
Okay.
before we shift gears here.
Yeah.
I want to say one last thing about Edgar Wright, and we can shift gears. If his name hadn't come up in the credits,
Would you have known?
I
You
would
wouldn't have
not.
known.
I would have not have known. I wouldn't have.
I wouldn't have either, and that's
Which
the
is
problem.
weird because like I'm an Edgar Wright guy.
Okay, yeah.
You know, like I wouldn't have.
Yeah,
would've.
I mean, just from watching the movie, I think you're absolutely right. Because
Yeah.
again, the only point that felt like it was like his wheelhouse was when he shows up at the cabin. Like I said, maybe a couple of the moments.
Son
I'm
of a
forgetting.
bitch. Should just been Simon Pegg instead of Michael Cera. Would that
Oh,
have made
he's-
this whole movie better?
He's worked with both of them a couple
That's
of
what
times.
I'm
so,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
Put 'em both in here.
so it's I understand why, and let's go back to the setup for 1 second.
Yeah,
We did talk about this pre-recording. It's a different how he gets inducted into the Running Man is a very different way. It's in
It is,
the original he's kind of forced into it,
yeah.
and in this one it's an act of a desperate man unable to take care of his sick kid, which I get. I mean,
Yep.
that's an
Well, of
easy
course you
setup.
get it because they tell us a lot in this movie
Sure.
about it. They keep on going back to that, which is fine. But like, I think you need to trust your audience to understand it. Like, I don't know why we're repeatedly reminded about it, like both via dialogue and flashback images and stuff. It's like, I don't know. I felt like we definitely had that point drilled home, which felt excessive. You could have used that
Did.
dialogue time
100%.
with other stuff.
I think that also there's a much longer version of this movie that they cut down because there are several points that we like the William H. Macy character. Why is he? We never go back to him. So
No.
why cast William H. Macy unless
Yeah,
someone
I
owed him a
thought
favor or
that
something?
same thing too. Like, is there a flashback sequence there that we didn't get in the final cut or something
Mm.
like that? I don't know.
They
William
didn't
H.
kill him.
Macy.
They just put his arm in a vice. So I mean,
well, we
Oh,
don't
yeah,
know
yeah.
that they didn't kill him. We know that he was at least tortured for information.
but do we have any reason to believe that he's dead?
I just assume those people killed everybody, right?
Okay, I mean that's fair, I guess. But I mean, I think there's a longer version here, and that's probably a problem because it's very evident that there's a longer version here.
It's already so long.
That's
Like, what are you gonna do with
point.
more runtime on this
Well,
thing?
That's why they chopped it
Actually,
down.
have him run. Well, like, so I don't want to. I mean, we're not doing
No,
a
we're
full
spoiling. It's
breakdown
fine.
here, but let me skip till like the 3/4 mark, right? Where we're past Michael Cera and the fun house and however you want to describe that.
Yeah.
And where like he sleeps in that weird development overnight.
Yeah.
And then he ends up on the highway
Mhm.
and hijacks some random person on the highway.
Yeah.
Like that whole scene feels so out of place in this
Well,
movie.
they needed to force the female like sidekick thing that comes with the first one.
Okay.
Absolutely,
Yeah, I didn't-
100%.
I guess I hadn't considered it that, but when she's just like, my car is almost out of battery, and the battery just immediately
Yeah,
fills up. I'm
yeah.
just like, what the fuck are
Well,
we doing here?
again, it's that weird. I think that's that stab at comedy that they're trying to. do, but I feel like this movie doesn't understand if it's wanting to be more of a comedy or more of an action film, and that's one of the problems it has.
Well, it doesn't do either one of them that well.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, it
with
definitely
that.
doesn't do the comedy well. It tries.
It does its comedy better than its action. I would wager actually.
Well, okay, so here's the problem with the action is some of the action is just too much. Right? Like if you think about everything that happens on the flight at the
Yeah.
very end. Like that entire action sequence looks so bad.
Mm.
And it's not because like here's the thing, I respect anybody who wants to do their own stunts, but like it's clear, they're not crashing a plane.
Yeah.
We're not doing that. And it looks so out of place in the rest of this movie. I'm just like, I guess that's the part of this movie's
maybe
problem too.
It's cool, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, he comes from a place called Co-op City, which is why they use that. I don't know. Maybe it's a reference to something else. But then they immediately go to New York and Boston, which are still regular places. So whatever. But like it's all like dirty, depressed, blah blah blah.
Co-op
And then
is corporate operations.
I
Yeah.
I get that, but
Yeah.
like there couldn't have been a real town.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But the other part of that is like we see everything like from the poor side or whatever. And then we get in this big jet thing at the end. It's like super opulent or whatever,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it doesn't feel like they're anywhere remotely connected.
Yeah.
Which I guess it's supposed to be. You're supposed to understand like, well, this is how the rich people live here. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it's the
Well, like-
same world.
Yeah, like everything is so dystopian and out of place, and then it looks like there's a normal ass highway. You know what I mean? It's like
Like right in
Or
the middle
like-
of Ohio. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like this is the I-80 interchange up by
Yeah.
Cleveland. Like
Yep.
what the fuck is this?
they're in
I
Tuscarora,
would argue
Ohio.
I would argue that the plane sequence also is very uninspired. It doesn't. It's generic. It's like, why did we get it? I don't understand. Like this in a movie called The Running Man, he does a lot of trips in vehicles and
Well,
not
let me-
running. Is
Let me ask a question though, because maybe I don't understand the rules to Running Man. Right? He's only on day 17 or 18 by the end of it, right?
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
18-ish, something like that.
Is there some like stipulation if he crosses the border that it's over?
No,
Like did I miss that?
no.
No, I
Okay,
think the world
but
presented.
you
I don't think.
you understand the point that I'm making, right?
Yeah.
Because like if it's just get out of the country and you get the money earlier,
Yeah.
maybe going to Canada would have been a higher focus.
Maybe,
Something tells me those people wouldn't have obeyed national boundary law anyway. It
That's
doesn't-
okay. I understand that too, but
Yeah.
like he's got it so on. He's like, "Oh, we're gonna cross the border, and this is going to be over with." Who says?
Yeah.
Like this just does. Like TV works in Canada too, bud. Canadians have television.
Well, the whole idea
If you're
of,
Canadian, you do not have a TV. Please let me know.
okay, yeah. Well, like the whole idea of like he's trying to get out and like go someplace else and all this. It just the whole point that it's over 30 days is weird too. Because Grace, you just watched original Running Man. How long of a time span does that take place?
not long
It's
at
like-
all.
It's like
condensed.
24 hours or something.
Yeah, it's
right.
very
It's like
condensed,
it's like a full day. And so I don't know why we chose to do 30 days all of a sudden. But like maybe it's because
that may have been the
logistically they
book.
want to do.
That may have been
Well,
the book thing.
okay, maybe, but like logistically, they want to go from the city to the outer skirts and stuff, and travel between locations, and like in the 2025 audience compared to the 1990s audience, someone's gonna ask, "Wait, weren't they just in New York? As they're in Boston
Well,
or something?"
At
So
least I understand getting from New York to Boston in a relatively quick amount of time.
Yeah,
It's not really that far.
yeah,
But he also doesn't run.
yeah,
But well, I mean, so the thing is, I think this movie's fun enough to. Without Glenn Powell, I don't
Oh,
know.
no,
if
without
this-
him,
God.
yeah, no matter who you put in there, it just doesn't have the juice at all. But it's one of those things that, like, I am so intrigued by Glenn Powell's handsome ass demeanor that I'm willing to forgive so much of this,
Well,
and so
he
much of it
does
is.
fine in this.
Well, that's the
right?
thing is, he elevates. You can only elevate
Yeah.
bad material so much. It's
Yeah.
like that's
Yeah,
very
he's
famous.
fine.
Someone said that once, but it's. I would have been fine, and I would have preferred if this was. He just has to survive in the city for 30. He can hide wherever he wants to hide, but he's
Yeah.
got to survive. And in a day
Yeah.
and age where we're in the future, as far as they are, it's almost like it had very visual effect of like Minority Report. Like everything was a screen, everything was interlinked via Wi-Fi. I don't think it's possible that guy gets 40 feet away from the building without being sighted by somebody. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like there's just no way in that dystopian future that we were given. There's just no way that he makes it even 10 miles outside that city. There's just no way. I
Yeah.
mean, like you said, Chris, the plot allows him to do this stuff. And
Yeah.
when you start having plot devices, you have one plot device, and then you have another plot device to cover the other one, and then and then they just keep cascading down until you just have so many plot devices.
I just think there's so much plot convenience in this that like every time something needed to happen or he needed to get bailed out by something, it happened. Like how many people is he going to meet as a part of this underground resistance? Just so happened, you know what I mean? Versus regular ass people that would turn him in for money.
Not just people that won't turn him in either. Like people that are deeply embedded
like
in this
connected.
conspiracy.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
like you can argue, well, they're embedded into this conspiracy resistance thing. So of course they're going to seek him out as he's like, like that's such a far throw in a way from like, just being like a well-written script that it's still hand wavy and it's still irritating to sit through and like be told, okay, he jumps out this building and there's 4 different towns worth of police force here, but this kid on the bike, his brother's big in the resistance and he's gonna save him.
Well, and then they got to get out, so he's in the back of like an old Buick driving through, and there's 2 people chasing him on a motorcycle.
And of course, those 2 people on the motorcycle know to seek those 2 out that aren't him to find him. And then on top of that, he gets in the trunk with people he just met.
Yep.
They could just drive him to the station.
Yeah, here you go. Gets out. He's just at corporate headquarters.
I expected. Who did that guy end up? Was he the guy in the getup that was like, and here's what they did, and he kept coming through the screen? Was that
Yep.
was that supposed to be him? That was the guy. Okay, well, fine. But again, do we know definitively that was him, or are we just guessing? Me and you, Roger and Chris, are we guessing that was him?
There's no definitive thing in the movie, but it's heavily implied.
It's him.
I would have also, going into this movie, I would have expected there's some revolution coming in this film, and he's the catalyst. Sarah even says, like, you're the guy, man.
Yeah, they put it like everything's already a powder keg, and you're the detonator.
Yeah.
And if
he's the initiator.
I
don't know why they use the word initiator, but it's fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess you're trying to be tongue in cheek with the film world is, inciting incident, initiating incident. He's the initiating incident, but
yeah, like you can tell, like things are about to boil over. And
well, I expected that to be the case, and I expected kind of a sequence from. I mean, it's relevant in this discussion. The Hunger Games. Do you remember when Rue dies?
Yeah.
And that entire sector starts to rebel and starts killing guards and shit. Like I expected stuff like that. I expected people to come to his aid. I expected people to get in the way of these hunters. I expected things that I didn't get.
Hold on. What about the setup of this film makes you think that? Because this is one of my problems with it. Because you say that, but like the beginning of this movie, like, and you even brought up like how this all starts as being a problem that you have, where like everyone just hates this guy. Like the whole crowd is in on it, and the whole crowd is an antagonistic force against him. Whereas the original, it wasn't like that. And then there's an audience and stuff, but what the original did was it was an actual game show. This doesn't feel like a game show. This feels like Hunger Games on the streets.
Well, this is the shitty YouTube version of a TV show.
Yeah, I know you're right.
But this is exactly what that is.
But like in the original, it was a game show. Everybody was in on the gag. Everyone, all these characters were larger than life. The audience was like had that weird game show feel to like the way that the audience was, but they were just part of like the viewing of it, not being a part of it. It was just
don't they get money for turning him in?
They do, but like that's because the movie made it that way, right?
Yeah.
So like the whole thing where you're like, I expected these people to like be helping him, not like working against him. They literally make the audience against him from the go. That's exactly what like the movie does.
Well, I guess because to answer your question, Chris, is I expected him to be on the go nonstop. I said, surely there's going to be a sequence when he literally just doesn't have the stamina to go, and someone's got to protect him. But because he's part of a bigger revolution that's coming, because all the 1% are up there eating good and everyone's eating shit on the streets, I thought that's where that was going. That's the world that we were given. That's the world we were painted in the beginning.
It also turns out if you don't run the whole time, you have a lot more energy.
Yeah.
Sure.
You just
But
get in the
you
car,
ask
the bus, or a
you ask
plane.
about the opening. Is the opening to me is it's not like when in doubt Nazi out. It's a guaranteed your
Oh
audience
yeah,
feels
it's
sympathy for
evil
this guy.
corporation.
It's so
Sure.
funny that you
Of course.
say that because the 500s look like Nazis.
Well, I mean, I didn't
Oh,
mean
the
They're
one
dressed
guy's
like
legitimately got like this shitty
they're
little
dressed
hat.
like SS soldiers.
Yeah, they are, or commandos of some sort. Sure,
Yeah.
but I mean, you instantly feel for this guy. You instantly feel for his wife and daughter, and his wife who has to go to what I only assume is like a strip club situation that make more money.
It's implied.
That's what I mean. It's like awful situation, which puts him into this. I guess I'm trying to say I expected a better elevated movie than I got from Edgar Wright. I'm not
Mhm.
trying to defend. I still
Okay.
think
No,
this
that's
is.
fair.
I still think that this is a thumbs up, and you should definitely go watch this in IMAX because it's wonderful visual. I love the film look. I love it. I love it. I love Glenn Powell. There's so much of it that is so well done technically that
Can
I
I
think
point out
that's a plus.
something that you off of what you just said?
Yes, please.
You didn't point out the sound, and I think the sound is bad in this. There's a point where a grenade goes off when he's in an elevator, and it's like a. There's no like it's like a little flame lick from a grenade above him. There's no explosion. There's no debris. There's no bang. There's no pop. It's
You know,
like that's the whole grenade thing.
I
So
did
like,
I guess
audibly
I hadn't
laugh
noticed
though when
that.
he tried. He's like, "It's a grenade!" Then he
Yeah.
just stops it with his foot. It's like right back at you.
And then instead of throw it
Oh.
back at the guy, he then throws it up,
up.
which I thought
Yeah.
was weird. But before that, we established that Ben Richards is kind of a smart guy.
Yeah.
Like he's not an idiot. He's above this rabble that's
I
on
mean,
the
even
street.
smart people freak out when grenades come at them. I guess.
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
Sure.
I think that's in real world.
Yeah.
Real world, that's something like
Well,
that.
it's I don't know if the world we were given is like flushed out enough. I think it's closer to what they wanted to give us, but
It's probably closer to the book.
it probably is. But we
First
didn't
one,
get
yeah.
enough revolution, and like
I
the
did like the
people
Dairy
want to
Main
eat.
reference, so
Well,
that
hold
was
on,
nice.
like, why do you want the revolution in the Running Man?
Because
I want the
that's
Running
how it
Man
wa-
in the Running Man.
Well, I want if they're going to give me the fact that walk he does through downtown, which is like everyone is homeless in the city, everyone except for the top 1%. Everyone's got problems. Everyone's doing shitty. The line to get medicine is around the corner, as we saw the
Yeah.
drug sign, the pharmacy. It's a really shitty world they live in, which to me
Why-
tells me that the
Yeah,
few
no, I hear you,
are
I
up
hear you.
top and everyone else on the bottom suffering. But that's what
I
that
got
visually is telling you. So then I expect in my brains, okay, there's going to be some kind of reckoning by the end of this film, and he's going to be the guy that starts it.
Yeah, but
And I
why
just-
am I watching the Running Man to get that? Like there's different movies that do it better. You know what I mean? Like I thought we were gonna get
Sure.
a fun, fast paced, tongue in cheek popcorn action movie. And we got that, but like the bad version of it, I think.
Well,
You know what I mean?
it's
Well,
definitely a
that
lesser
entire
version.
movie can be the bad version, though.
It can, and it was, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So it's
I mean, it's worse than Predator Badlands to me.
so okay. Hold on, I like that you said that because I have a question.
Sure.
Okay.
You say it's worse than Predator Badlands.
I
I don't
do.
know what you think, Grayson, but I feel like I don't know why. I feel like this movie's not much worse than Predator Badlands, but Predator Badlands has so much more praise in this movie.
Mhm.
Like Predator Badlands, story wise, convenience wise, comedy wise, all this stuff that happens in Predator Badlands is pretty in line with Running Man. And the sentiment from other people is that Predator Badlands is good, Running Man is terrible. You know what I mean? Like,
So,
why is that the case when I don't feel like either of these stand much out from each other as being mediocre movies at best?
well, I think Predator Badlands is a better movie than this straight up because I think it's just more enjoyable.
Okay.
And the thing with Running Man for me is where I would have given it a half if I could have.
Mhm.
I just think that the comedies, honestly, Predator Badlands is a better comedy, has better comedic moments than The Running Man.
Yeah.
It does.
I mean, okay.
And action wise, it's a better action movie too. The thing is, the one thing that Running Man has going for it, the only thing that Running Man has going for it, because we've already brought this up, is if this wasn't Glenn Powell, this movie is bad.
Yeah.
Right? There are very few people that could carry a bad movie the way that he can. You know, like think of a generic Hemsworth leading this movie.
Yeah,
How does it turn out?
it doesn't.
Like you look at
Yeah.
it doesn't. It damn sure doesn't come out 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. It gets slated at the beginning of September because it sucks.
Yeah.
And this movie's not that good anyway.
So we talked about like earlier, like who could have done this if not Glenn Powell? Like no one else could have. What about the guy who did the the guy who was in the faculty that did the plane movie we just saw recently?
The what movie?
He's in the faculty.
Elijah Wood or
No,
Josh
no, no,
Hartnett?
no.
Josh Hartnett?
Yeah, Hartnett. I feel
No.
like Hartnett could have done this.
Very, very
And
wrong tone.
I think it'd be more comedic. if
It
he
would
had
be.
done it.
It'd be more. It'd be
I
more
don't
B
know.
movie.
I don't know if that helps that movie or
I
not.
don't know. I feel like he's the only one that like has the attitude and the gravitas to like kind of like sell the character at least. It would just be the less ab version of the character maybe, but you know, it's. I think he could have done it.
What about someone like
Personally.
Heath? What about like Heath Ledger?
Heath Ledger's dead, bud.
Well, Heath Ledger could have done
I'm
it.
aware he's dead. I'm asking.
Oh,
Well, Heath Ledger's dead, and the guy that Chris just mentioned, he didn't do it. So both are kind of in that. Well, they didn't do it.
Yeah.
So
I think that Heath Ledger. I don't know where he would have been at this point in his career, but like probably, but he would have had to break that rom com thing that he was kind of trapped in for a long time. You know, before he would. Do
who knows
something
where
like
he'd be
this.
now? Is it?
Well, let's say he was never really an action star, right? So like this movie definitely needs a guy that can do action comparatively. Because even like his work in Joker, he didn't do much that was like requiring like himself to do like action wise. He was the Joker, right? He walked around, he cut people, he stabbed people, but like it was not like fight choreography kind of stuff. You know what I
Okay.
mean? A little bit different.
So I think one thing I'm going to do is before we wrap this up, because it's getting to be about that time. I'm going to name off some people and you tell me if they could have done the Running Man.
Okay.
Okay. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. I'm trying to stick to like appropriate age.
Okay.
Right. Like Glenn Powell-ish. The first person that comes up, oh, Jesus. We're not going to say him because it was The Rock, and we're not doing that. Aaron Taylor Johnson, Kick-Ass himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
He
could-
Is it
I
a
could
better
see it.
or a worse movie?
It's the same.
I
Okay.
think it's worse slightly.
All right.
He
Aaron
doesn't have
Paul
the
from Breaking Bad.
He doesn't have the Glenn Powell charisma. He just doesn't.
Who's the next
Aaron
guy?
Paul way
Aaron
worse.
Paul, Breaking Bad.
Oh, worse. Yeah. You can't, he
Okay.
doesn't
I
have
don't
it.
know, man. If it's Aaron Paul from like if it's the Breaking Bad character, maybe. But if it's Aaron Paul, no.
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
Grayson's boy, Jamie Bell.
no. What?
Okay. Argos.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
good at everything. All right. So you ready for the real fun question?
Yeah.
Chris Pratt.
No. Get out of here with that nonsense.
Chris Pratt could do it.
No.
He's got the looks.
He-
Don't you dare
checks
say
off-
charm.
he
Don't you dare say it.
Checks off every box.
He's got the looks, the gravitas, the charm. He can do the physicality part of it. Whether you like it or not, he could be this character.
Okay, maybe he could, only because I can see him doing the opening about I need this. My daughter is going to survive, so I'm going to do whatever I have to do it.
Yeah.
All right, I got two
Chris
more.
Pratt wishes he was Glenn Powell.
Since
think
we
Chris
since
Pratt's
we
doing
did
just
one,
fine.
we did one. Chris, I'll do the other.
Okay.
Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Chris Evans
He's already
could
done
do this.
So yes,
Yeah, I mean, he could do this, but
he did it in Cellular. Cellular is just Running Man.
Yeah.
Okay, you know I
yeah.
forgot about Cellular.
Yeah.
Sure.
he would do it in his hot, like better than thou Chris Evans way though, because he's got that aura about him.
That's smugness.
Yeah.
That I'm more
Kit
handsome than
Harington.
you.
Kit, good
Kit
old Kit.
Harington.
Jon Snow himself, huh?
Jon Snow
No,
himself.
he can't do it.
Yeah, I think he could actually.
No, he doesn't have that I can be charming without trying magnetism to him like some of the other people you read
I
off
think
like
he's
Chris
too
Pratt.
brooding. He broods too much.
That's
Yeah.
why. That's why I
Sighs
think he
too
can't do it.
heavily.
I think he can't. I think you have to be more brooding to do this. But yeah, okay.
All right. Last one, and we can close it up.
Well, so I do want to bring up one last
Oh,
thing.
I have a couple
Michael B.
points.
Jordan.
Oh, Michael B can do anything, but
Okay,
I think
fair enough.
it's a different movie if Michael B does it.
Okay.
I think in a good way, but I think if Michael B does this movie, it's not the same film we just watched. There's different elements to it, and there's definitely different like storylines that are dove into more that give more of the movie. and I think it's just a better movie all around for that because it might commit harder to something that it needed to.
Okay.
No,
Interesting.
I want to ask you guys about the end of the movie, and I think that's a good place for us to end the discussion as well. I was really upset about the movie's choice to show his face at the end.
I was too.
I think that once he comes out of the plane and he shows up to where his wife sat, I think that it'd have been the perfect shot to have him outside, how he's standing there, face covered, and then it cuts to the movie thing.
It even could have ended with him getting ready to take his mask off.
Something like that, and then it can still go to the network because that was their big ending or whatever. Mm-hmm. But have him walk up, but the fact that he showed his face really killed a lot of that for me because then it shows the resistance could it was everybody and could have been anyone, and instead of it being no, we need Glenn Powell. I don't understand.
I mean, if you got Glenn Powell, use that handsome mug when you can, I guess. But
use it for corporate espionage and violence.
Well, that's Chris. You hit the nail on the head. The point is that Killian, who was also, I mean, we just did a movie, Dillinger from the Tron, Dillinger's the evil. Killian is this is obviously the son of the original Running Man, Killian.
Yeah,
but it's
generic bad guy.
The idea is more scary when he thinks he knows it's Powell, but then the covering tells us it could have been any one of the people pissed off enough to kill him.
I think the message is just stronger, and
it is 100%
better ending. But instead, we get the weird face reveal and whatever.
Well, but it's a
handsome face.
It's the tongue-in-cheek wink in the camera ending that. That's the ending we got, and Glenn Powell kind of exudes that. So
I would say it's on the nose, but I understand what you're saying. Oh, also, final note: Josh Brolin could have done this in his sleep, right? This isn't a big.
I assume he did.
I think they should have.
You watched his performance, right?
Yeah, I think they could have got what's his name? Old guy, we like him. Bald guy, yells a lot.
Kratos.
I think he'd have been better.
Kratos?
No, he's
boy.
Boy,
I can't forgot this guy's name.
Old guy, bald that we like a lot. What is it?
He's in he's always real mean. He's in Palm Springs.
Oh, J.K. Simmons.
Yeah,
I will take J.K. Simmons in everything always.
Right?
That's fair. I don't think it makes a bit of difference here.
Yeah,
though.
No, it doesn't.
What about in the same? What about Miles Teller? For the running. What about I think Miles Teller could have done it too.
I thought that. I don't think so. Miles Teller
with or without his mustache.
Without.
Miles Teller to me does not come off as tough action guy. I'm sorry. I know he could probably do it if he wanted, but
he's got a lot of abs too.
Listen, he never comes off as tough action star guy in anything he's done. I'm sorry. Find me the thing where he comes off that way because it doesn't exist. So,
all right, we got to do final thoughts. So
yeah.
I'll lead is I gave this movie a thumbs up and I stand by that. It's a lot of fun. It's a popcorn movie. If you see it on a big screen IMAX, you'll love it. I did. There's a lot of problems with it, but you don't watch The Running Man to go watch an Oscar winner. Sometimes fun matters,
Jesus.
and for me that doesn't. Is that a wrong statement?
No. It's just funny.
No.
But I thought it was enjoyable enough, and handsome Glenn he's a plus.
Sure. Good boy.
Oh, I didn't like this movie. I don't think it was good. I think it has a lot of problems with its movie making. I think you should see it if you want to see it because we need to see movies in order to be able to keep on doing this. Other than that, go watch something else.
Last thing I'll say about it is this movie. It exists.
Yes.
Some people may like it. Some people might not. And if you watch this movie and come back to me and be like, I see exactly what you meant when you said that. I understand.
Yeah, fair.
This is not for everybody. I think it's just okay at best. If you like The Running Man, let me know why. That's it.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see how many people like the original versus this one, especially with how old the original is compared to this, because they are two different movies.
Very different. Very, very different.
Yeah. Stevie likes this one though. So
would you rather watch this again or Con Air?
Con Air. Jesus God, Con Air.
That's the correct answer. Yes, Con Air indeed. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me for episode 56 of Post Credits Podcast, a show where we are lucky enough to talk about movies with you. If you listen to this episode on an audio-only service such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and Podbean, feel free to head on over to YouTube. Check us out there as well. Turn us on while you're working, while you're cooking dinner, whatever it is you do. Turn us on, like and subscribe. Very important. Smash those buttons. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again next week for another theatrical release film.
Some movie,
Some
probably about defying gravity.
Con Air.
Yes.